Somewhere in 14th century Europe, a baby is born into a family already sentenced to a life no one else will touch. No one throws a celebration, no priest smiles at the door. Because in this village, this child's bloodline carries a curse that will outlive him. And he doesn't even know it yet. You grow up in a cold, poor corner of a nameless village, and before you can even talk, you already notice the stares. People look at you like you're something to avoid. Whispers follow your family everywhere. Cursed, they call you, though you have no idea why. Your mother holds you tighter than other mothers hold their children. Every night she prays over you, and you don't understand what she's protecting you from. You just know it's real. Your father is barely home. He leaves before sunrise and returns after dark, silent, hollow-eyed, carrying something heavier than exhaustion. The other men in the village don't just respect him, and they fear him. And it isn't his strength that scares them, it's his job. By age 2, disease and hunger sweep through the village like they do every winter. You survive. The villagers call you tough. Your mother doesn't smile. She's terrified your survival is just the opening chapter of something far worse. At 4, the strangeness sharpens. Neighbors avoid your street. Children flinch away when you try to play with them, yanked back by mothers hissing at them to come home. When your mother does take you to the market, rarely, she grips your hand like someone might snatch you away. You ask why you can't play like the other kids. It's dangerous, she says. You still don't know what dangerous means. Stones start hitting your windows, villagers sneer, then bolt before you can even see their faces. You have no idea why you're the target. One day, curiosity wins. You wander alone into the village square and freeze. A crowd, a wooden platform, screaming, crying, people pushing closer, then recoiling like the air itself is dangerous. Then you see him, a man in a black hood, gripping a strange metal tool. The crowd splits open for him instantly. Some spit at the ground as he passes. Others catch his eyes for a second, then drop their gaze like it burns. You strain to see beneath the hood, and your whole body goes cold. It's your father. That night you watch him from across the room, trying to act like you saw nothing. Your heart is hammering. When you're finally alone with him, you ask, why were they screaming? Why were you there? He doesn't answer right away. He sits you down. Slowly, he pulls off his gloves, and you see his hands. Scarred. Not the scars of a farmer. Not the calluses of a man who harvests wheat. These are scars from something else entirely. Listen carefully, he says low and flat. You won't forget this. And then the truth comes out. Your father works for the Lord and the church. When someone is accused, stealing bread, cursing a nobleman, angering a priest, they don't just get thrown in a cell. Sometimes the authorities want a confession. They want the accused to say, I did it, whether or not it's true. And when persuasion fails, they send the accused to your father. His job isn't to talk people into confessing. It's to make them confess through pain, through fear. The ground feels like it's shifting under you. You want to scream that this is wrong, but your father's face stops you. He doesn't look proud. He looks like a man who's been carrying a boulder his entire life. Then comes the worst part. This job isn't chosen. Men run from it, but someone has to do it. So the town forces certain families into it, generation after generation. Your grandfather did this, and his father before him, an unbroken chain stretching back through your bloodline. And now, your father tells you, it's your turn. That night, sleep won't come. You picture the life other children get. A farmer, a merchant, a quiet man with an ordinary existence. But the village's whispered word keeps echoing in your skull. Cursed. One label, and every door in your future just slams shut. Years pass. You grow up inside a house nobody loves. Your mother fights to give you small, normal moments. Warm bread, a bedtime story. But every time your father's footsteps hit the floor, the weight of this house presses back down on you. It never lifts. At 8, your father makes an announcement. Not training. An order, delivered like it's simply inevitable. He walks you into a room far from the house, full of tools you don't dare ask about, because some part of you doesn't want to know. First, he says, you learn discipline. The tasks seem simple, they aren't. You scrub the platform after the crowds leave. You wash stone with water and vinegar. You haul a bucket bigger than your own body. A smell clings to you that no amount of washing seems to erase. Back home, your mother scrubs your clothes over and over. The smell stays. The villagers notice. They pull further away. Then your father begins teaching you about the instruments, clinically, coldly. Every tool has a purpose, he says. The goal isn't to kill, the goal is to make them talk. He repeats that line constantly, like he's trying to convince himself as much as you. Next, he hands you animal bones. Learn how much pressure your hand can take. Learn exactly when something breaks, and when it doesn't. You don't understand everything yet, but you understand this. Your hand has to become steady, and fear is not allowed. 9 months into your training, your father tells you, today, you watch. A man is brought into the room, pale-faced, sobbing, swearing he's innocent. Your father doesn't care. The law wants a confession, he tells you, flat and quiet. We don't judge, we carry out. You want to shut your eyes, but your father is watching you now, testing you too. The man screams, your ears ring with it. You flinch backward. Ospesta, and your father snaps, hold still, break now, and you'll break forever. By the end, the man says exactly what they want to hear. Names spill out, real or invented just to make the pain stop, you'll never know. Your father finishes the job and says one cold word. Done. You go home and sit in a corner, wondering how the world is supposed to feel normal again after this. At 12, your father says it's time to use your own hands. He gives you a simple tool, gestures toward another man's mouth. Start from behind, he instructs. You hesitate. The prisoner's eyes are flooded with terror. Every part of your body refuses to move. Then your father's hand lands on your shoulder. It's not comfort. It's a warning, delivered so only you can hear it. Do it now, or you pay the price instead. Then he adds something that terrifies you even more. If you disobey the church's orders, or if the accused dies before confessing, they might burn you too. You've heard the stories. Men in this trade who ended up on the pyre themselves, because someone decided they'd failed. Your first attempt is slow, clumsy. Your hand shakes, the man screams, then blacks out. Your father just shakes his head. Weak work, you'll learn. And you do learn, not because you want to, because you're forced to, day after day. Your hand stops trembling, and that's the part that terrifies you most. You're changing. By 15, your father starts teaching you the body's weak points. No complicated language, just chilling simplicity. Here, pain comes fast. Here, death comes fast. We don't want fast death. He teaches you that fear is often stronger than pain itself. Some people confess the second they see the tools, before you even touch them. You start to understand this job isn't only physical, it's psychological warfare. Then a harder truth settles in. People don't just hate you, they need you. The judge arrives, gives the orders. The priest blesses the decision. Then they walk out in clean clothes and calm faces, leaving you holding the filth of it. Afterward, walking through the street, those same people won't sit near you. You are useful and unwanted. At the exact same time. At 17, your responsibilities grow. You're no longer just an assistant hauling water and scrubbing floors. Now you run most of the work yourself while your father simply supervises. You try to convince yourself you never had a choice. If I don't do it, someone else will. It doesn't bring your heart much peace. At 18, your hardest test arrives. A woman accused of witchcraft. The village already despises her, blaming her for a dead cow, a sick child, a failed harvest. You see the terror in her eyes. You start gently, unwilling to hurt her too fast. But suddenly the accusation turns on you. They say you're too merciful, that compassion here is dangerous. The church demands proof you're not sympathizing with the accused. They force you into something brutal, just to prove you still belong in this trade. You feel the pain and fear firsthand and realize this world can devour even the ones who serve it. In the end, you force the woman to confess to things that never happened. Nonsense. Invented under duress. Outside, the crowd applauds. They wanted a clean story with an easy ending. You feel no victory, just nausea. But the next day, you go back to work, because this machine doesn't stop for your feelings. Years pass. Your reputation spreads to nearby towns. People travel from other villages because they've heard your family knows how to extract a confession. Some give you frightening nicknames, not because you like it, but because people love labels. It deepens their fear of you, and it deepens your isolation. Children run when they see you. Men whisper. Women lock their doors. Even the priest keeps you at a distance in church, if he lets you inside at all. You live at the edge of the village. Not by choice, but because they pushed you there. At night, no one visits unless they need a service. No one comes to ask how you're doing. You start drinking heavily, not because it fixes anything, because it quiets the noise in your head if only for a while. But the noise returns in your dreams, faces, screams. You wake up gasping, sometimes shouting. Then remember, the people around you don't care how you feel. They just don't want to hear it. Eventually, you marry. Not because the village welcomes you, but because there's another outcast, a woman in a trade nobody respects, who understands what it means to be needed and hated in the same breath. Between you two, there's a quiet understanding. You don't talk much about the past. It's too large, and words won't undo it. 20 years into this life, you hit 40. Your hands are tired. Your grip isn't as steady as it used to be. You try to hide it. Because a mistake in this job isn't a scolding. A mistake can end your life. One day, your worst fear happens. A prisoner dies before confessing. The judge is furious. People say you've lost your edge. Your reputation cracks. And with a cracked reputation comes a darker problem. If they think you're weak, they'll look for a replacement. And a replacement means your family loses its protection. You could become the accused. Now you're forced to confront the one thought you've avoided your whole life. The heir. You have a son. No, two. Twins. Looking at them for one fragile second, you feel something like hope. Maybe they'll escape this. Maybe they'll live ordinary lives. Then reality crashes back in. No one allows that. The town remembers family names, and the city needs this work to continue. When your oldest son turns 13, you pull him aside. You try to be gentle, but the words come out heavy anyway. This is our work, you tell him. He stares at you. I don't want this. You understand, because you were him once. I didn't choose this. My father didn't choose this. But if you want to live, you have to learn. Your son cries. He runs. He disappears for 2-3 days. Then comes back, hungry and exhausted, not because he's accepted his fate, but because nowhere else will take him in. You see something break behind his eyes. You recognize that feeling. It happened to you once too. So you begin training him exactly the way your father trained you. Simple task first. Cleaning, hauling water, learning silence, then observation, then practice. Every single day, a new weight settles on your chest. You're not just handing him a trade. You're handing him a curse that never ends. The villagers watch it happen and act like it's the most natural thing in the world. They hate your family. But they're relieved too because someone else is doing the work they refuse to witness. Over time, your son becomes skilled. People start requesting him by name. As for you, you fade. You sit in a corner of the house, your hands shaking worse than ever, unable to work anymore. You tell yourself it's retirement, but you know better. This isn't retirement, It's a new kind of prison, because now you hear the screams from the next room, and you know exactly who's running the show. Every cry is a reminder of what you did, and what you set in motion. You keep aging. You reach 52, an unusually old age for a man in your line of work. Most don't make it this far. Fear, exhaustion, isolation, enemies. They all kill faster than any blade. You live longer, but peace never comes. In your final days, the village makes it clear you're not wanted. Even now that you've stopped working, some claim your presence brings bad luck. Others fear the spirits of the dead will seek revenge through your household. They never shout it outright, but their stares, their words, push you toward the door all the same. In the end, you die quietly in your own home. No grand funeral. No priest's blessing, no crowd mourning you with love, just your family, burying you in a lonely corner of the cemetery, far from the graves of the respectable people, as they call themselves. Even in death, they keep their distance. And right before your eyes close for the last time, one simple truth settles over you. This world always needed someone to do its dirty work. It just couldn't stand to look at his face while he did it. You were that face. You carried their hatred, you served their system, and you paid the price, alone. Then your sons flash through your mind, and you understand, this story doesn't end with your death. One of them is already standing where you once stood, and the other's turn is coming. Somewhere in the village, right now, another child is growing up, watching people cross themselves whenever his family walks by. Soon, he'll ask why, and he'll hear the same old answer echo back. That's simply how it is. That's simply how it always was.